Hi, it's Rebecca. So, this is a message from me, not necessarily via Empathic Crow, although it definitely is in alignment with what I do with Empathic Crow and what I want to do. I started thinking about how hard that last channeled message hit me. Well, the short, brief oracle reading. I can't remember what I titled it. I can link it or whatever. But the thing is, it was talking about like getting out of that feeling of having to follow the rules and expectations, like even algorithms and things like that. The push that if you do this, you will be rewarded. More people will see your videos. And so I was thinking, okay, why is this hitting me so hard? And it's completely in alignment with exactly what's happening as I'm sitting in my work office right now, looking at the last 2 weeks that I have of clients after 22 years of being in this field. And I have been honored and grateful. And I am very honored and grateful for the connections and the people that I work with through Empathic Crow. But Empathic Crow came about because of a severe burnout. And I've been through burnout many times, not even knowing it, being, of course, diagnosed with depression. Even though I've been in the mental health field for over 22 years, there are things that are misdiagnosed, misunderstood. The ADHD, the autism, the anxiety and PTSD were recognized easily once, as an adult, I realized it was going on. And I'm not trying to share too much of my story, but to say, yes, that message was for everyone. And this is why it's personal. And this is why it's something that I'm very adamant about, is that we are in so many structures that teach us compliance. It doesn't teach us free thinking. It doesn't teach us to be creative It doesn't encourage us to think for ourselves. It doesn't encourage us to have this thought about what we want to do, to be creative, to step outside of the box. You got to stay in line. You got to do the things. You have all these expectations and judgments. And as I said, what I'm building Empathic Crow off of is honoring the experience, the trauma-informed way that I interact with the people I work with, the caring and compassionate way that I interact with them, without having to walk between two worlds or worry about the rigid structures and expectations. And when it comes to these social media platforms, understandably, there may be rules, and you don't want to violate those rules, especially if it would hurt someone or put them in danger or give them misinformation, whatever it is. But at the same time, when those rules, the word I use, are arbitrary, and it's more just to create a system where do this and we'll reward you, do this and we'll push you out further, it feels, again, more like it's compliance, like teaching you to be compliant. As somebody who has studied psychology since senior year of high school with AP Psych, it reminds me of Pavlov's study, classical conditioning, in which he was able to induce a dog drooling, or the body response of saliva being produced. There we go. Through ringing a bell, because he had paired it with a treat. So even if there was no treat, but the dog heard the bell ring, it automatically would start salivating. So in society, we see with money or the promise of rewards and things like that. Like, even if, let's say, you get a coupon in the mail for $5 off of $25. And maybe there are things you need, and so yes, in that instance, it's helpful. But it may be that you didn't need anything there, but now you've got this coupon, so you're spending at least $20 just to get $5 off. So I feel like that's kind of an explanation of why that message is so powerful. There are so many things that we do, or so many things that we think we should do, just because it's what we're told. And that's not true. And this is why a big push is to focus within yourself. What is it that you really need? What is it that you really want? What is it that is going to help you? Not what everybody tells you should do or you have to do, and that fear of loss or punishment if you don't do the things. I understand, and I'm not giving any shade to anyone who does the trends and things like that with TikTok or YouTube. I am, what's the word I'm looking for? Amazed is the only thing that I can say, but that's not what it is. Like, there's a respect that I have for those who are able to, like my brother's one of them, able to create things that bring interest and intrigue to other people. I know that I'm not one of those people. And so it's being able to honor and respect that we all have different ways that we do things and come at them. And there's not any one right way or wrong, even though some may be rewarded more than others. And it's being able to decide with your personal autonomy, what is it that you feel is important, and that you don't mind doing. It doesn't feel like it's a huge hassle or chore that you're having to change different things in order to fit into the mold. The biggest piece of this is to be you, to do what makes you feel okay. And sometimes that means that some structures, some systems, some platforms aren't going to be your main platform, or some people aren't going to be your people, and that's okay, because really the goal is that we all find people and places and spaces that we feel comfortable. That was even part of the January 22nd, 2025 message that I've mentioned a couple of times recently because it keeps coming back. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and finish some more notes, but I hope you have a good day, and that's just kind of some food for thought from, again, me, Rebecca. Take care, and I'll talk to you later.